Hello YouTube, this is Sean again. We've got a few upgrades and updates to let you guys all in on. First of which is I swapped out my other Zephyr system for this new one. My other one is having a few electrical issues. This one has to go through some testing to see if this one's going to have it as well, or if it was just a minor glitch with the other one. I got some more supports and braces, which I'll show you guys in a minute. First off, I want to show you all my rolling stock that I have so far. We got several gondolas, boxcars, hoppers, a few locomotives. My bipolar is not here at the moment. It is in getting serviced by MTH. It's having some mechanical issues. Thankfully it's under warranty. The next thing I want to show you is electrical for my main power supply. I bought this here little zip strip or whatever it's called, power strip, for my chargers, for my power tools, and for the rope lights, which I've run through the layout to light underneath and to control the power to my DCC system so that the main power over there by the staircase doesn't turn my layout on along with the rest of the basement. Next is some of the bracing on the end here. I know a lot of people commented on the pictures that and said I didn't have enough bracing or I should add some. Well, there's some there on every corner in between. On the other end I just have a single leg here because that's where the yard's gonna be, and being that on both ends of this piece there are legs to support it, and it's very sturdy. There's hardly any movement when I shake the layout, which is good. Once I get the tabletop on there, it'll be stronger. For much of the layout will be a solid tabletop because it is pretty flat. This section here and this section right there will not have it. That'll be legitimate open grid. It'll have different levels for the track. But the yard's going to be here with a station in the corner here. Over there on the other corner will be another depot in the other town. It'll be Black Dog and Evermore. And I've got a couple ideas for a woodpile trestle and a steel trestle spanning this length here over water instead of doing two individual bridges like the layout plan shows. I've also decided to go with a solid benchwork here instead of swing style entrance or a lift out, and I did it kind of goofy, but I'm okay with that because this isn't exactly a mobile layout. And I wanted more space over here for the track that'll come back to do switching in the town. So I've got my main bus wire run here. I'm only going to have 3 to 5 amps through the layout. It's a 3 amp system, and I don't think I'll be buying a booster since I only have 2 or 3 engines at a time, and maybe even if I have all 3 of those with sound it shouldn't be a problem, but we'll see what happens. If I have to upgrade it, this should be able to handle up to 10 or 15 amps. So, if anything, it's not hard to replace and it's cheap wire. Or inexpensive, excuse me. Let me crawl back underneath here. I'll explain some of the details I plan on going through. I plan on having working signals and wigwags. So the tracks that go underneath the layout, which would run along here, as shown here, and along the backside, if either of these switches that'll be placed over here or over here, underneath, are closed, the lights will indicate that going by the tunnel portals, as well as any of the switches on the rest of the layout. I'll have signals outside of the towns before the yards on each side for the passing sightings and such. I'll probably have wigwags in the town here. and here as well, since those are basically the only two really popular roads. The depot, I'll just have cross bucks, nice and simple. Here's where the woodpile trestle is going to be for the length of the river, along next to the steel trestle, which will be elevated over that. And here's where I've made the change in the layout plan, right there, so that this whole section here is actually about an inch or two wider, and this goes straight across to here. So that's why this is a little bit goofy, because as you can see, this goes off that way a little bit, and that's straight, and that's alright, at least to me. I do plan on doing a hand-built bridge here for the span, and then an old steel bridge here. I'm trying to keep everything from the 40s to the 60s era, the newest being 66, and that's just because my hoppers or my covered hoppers are from 66. The mines, I'm not sure what I'm going to name them yet. I think Silent Hill for one of them, because it's a cool horror movie. And maybe Eyes Mine, like the hills have eyes. And I'm not sure what to call the third one, but each one I plan on scratch building. If not, I know Campbell's Models has a cool kit, and there are a few other cool Craftsman kits out there. I've never built one, so it'd be nice to have one to scratch build, and even if it ends up being a pile of junk, I can still use it and just say it's abandoned or in disrepair. The turntable, I'm not sure who I'm going to go with yet. I'm going to go with Walther's slightly modified Atlas, although it does sound kind of terrible. And I'll probably have to, or I probably will custom build the roundhouse from wood, just because I haven't really custom built a lot of stuff and I'd really like to get into it. The buildings in the towns will probably be Woodland Scenics and Walther's Ready Built kits. I'm really not a huge fan of kits. I'm more of a collector and an operator, but I do plan on getting into it a little bit more. And I mostly like working with wood, not so much steel or plastic. But on each end of the trestles or the elevated area, I'm going to put in a high wind advisory signal that you may have seen along the Milwaukee Road Electrified route, and some other cool little bits that you may see along there. I still have a lot of learning to do, and this is my second layout within the last 7 years, probably since, or 8 years, probably since grade school, since I built the layout, other than that last tabletop one you saw. So this should be interesting. I'm not afraid to have to tear something back up and redo all the scenery and redo it. I'm pretty good at track work, so I'm not worried about that. It's just the scenery I'm going to get used to. And I'll try to post some pictures on here if I can. Otherwise, you can see it on my Extreme Rail Fanning page on Facebook. Just XTREME Rail Fanning. And you'll be able to see the pictures I'm adding on there for the layout, and where I'll be getting some of my ideas from. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I know it's a little bit longer. I like to keep them short for my video logs. Any comments or questions, post them below. Tips or advice, things you might want to see, or throw in your 2 cents. I'd be more than glad to hear about it.